this big old stack of bricks that, when I speak to an audience and connect with people, we talk about dreams and goals. We talk about how to get from where you are to where you want to be. And all that is great. But I found that a lot of people build these walls around themselves from a very young age. So this big old stack of bricks is what I call the wall of negative. And the bricks have names. One of the bricks is called envy, one is hate, one is revenge, one is frustration, one is guilt, one is insecurity, one is laziness. The biggest, ugliest brick, is fear and or bad attitude. Pick one. Because when I was a kid, attitude was, it was so vital to determine which way your life was going to go. Because I had a bad attitude, because I would practice being bad. My heroes on TV were these guys that were the bad guys, because I didn't understand that it's just on TV, it's just in the movies. So I would try to imitate the bad guys. And me and my friends, we would just get into it. And ultimately we became bad. And we thought we were cool, we were tough, and we were nasty and everything else. But I found out later that your attitude in life determines your altitude in life. So I had to go through what I call a breakthrough. And so you can see, though, when you get behind a wall or a stack of bricks and you try to see where you're going, it's very difficult, because you can't really have a vision anymore, because you're just all blocked. So I talk about having a breakthrough, and we have this big old stack of bricks here, and I break the big old stack of bricks, and people always say, "Oh man, that was awesome, you must be a karate guy." And I go, "No, I'm not." I said, "I never took karate in my life." And then they say, "Oh man, does that hurt?" And I always say, "Yeah, of course it hurts. I just hit 18 inches of concrete with my arm and broke it. Of course it hurts, but it's worth a little bit of pain to get the message across. We have to break through these things." And I go through the story. I was visiting some friends down the Jersey Shore, ended up seeing some strongmen, which I didn't know anything about at the time, but I saw these guys bending and breaking things and everything, and I thought it was pretty cool. Well, I meet the head guy the next day, and I run into him, and we had this shared experience, and we started talking, and he said to me, "Hey, listen, man, why don't you come help us tonight? We're doing a show down by Atlantic City. We need somebody to break some bricks." And I'm standing there, I had a suit on and everything, and I said, "No, you got the wrong guy, man." I said, "Basically, I'm an old basketball player." I said, "And the key word there is old." I said, "I never did anything like that in my life before." And he said, "Oh man, don't worry about it. We'll show you how to do it and everything, and I'm sure you could do it. Why don't you come with us?" I said, No, you got the wrong guy." But my wife was there, and she said, she's very supportive, so she said, "Go ahead, honey, go help the guy." So the next thing I know, I'm driving down the Garden State Parkway with a guy from San Diego, California, sitting next to me, and while I'm driving, he's teaching me how to break bricks. And I said, I'm going, "You're crazy." I said, "I could never do something like that." And he's telling me, watch the road. And we're arguing back and forth. And we get down to Atlantic City, we pull into the parking lot, we go inside, and there's two big stacks of bricks set up on the stage. And this stack on this side was mine. So I said to the guy, "Can we practice?" He said, "No, we don't have enough bricks." I said, "Wait a minute, you're gonna want me to come out tonight and break 18 inches of concrete with my arm and never having done it before in my life?" He goes, "Yeah, don't worry about it. I told you how to do it." I said, "Oh, this is crazy." And we come out, and it was like being at a sporting event. There was young people, older people, the music was cranking, the lights are flashing, everybody's, just jacked up, and we're gonna break these two stacks of bricks simultaneously. So we get up in front of the stack of bricks, and I pull my arm up just like the guy told me to do. And the guy said, "We're gonna count down from 10 down to 1. And as soon as they said 10, all that excitement and enthusiasm went right out of me. And I was filled with something called fear. But it wasn't the type of fear, where somebody goes to you, goes, "Boo!" and you go, "Boo!" Okay, I'm not talking about that type of fear. I'm talking about the deep down in your stomach, knees knocking, hands sweating when it's cold, fear. And I was afraid of three things. First, the bricks weren't going to break. The second thing was that my arm was going to break. And the third thing was they were going to be carrying me out to the local hospital because of my injuries. And it was real fear. And so I remembered a talk I heard a few years before. I don't remember anything else the guy said except this. He said that faith and fear cannot live in the same body at the same time. And I remember thinking to myself, going, what's this guy talking about? I walked around for a week saying to myself, faith and fear cannot live in the same body at the same time. I came finally to understand that something's going to control your life. You can't go part way. Either you believe or you don't believe. There's not like 98% belief. Well, that kicked in for me. I was standing there, and during this, it was like a moment of truth in my life. It wasn't like one. It was a moment of truth in my life. They said one, I jumped up, I hit that stack of bricks with everything I could, and boom, they exploded. They went flying each direction, and there was nobody in the place more excited than I was. Here's the good news, though. You don't have to go home today and set up a stack of bricks in your living room and make a big mess and probably hurt your arm. The good news is you need to understand that the breakthrough comes in between your ears. Once that happened for me, the bricks were just a detail at the end. It all happens here. And then it also happens here in your heart as well. So that's my story on how I conquered fear, and you can do it too. It's just part of the process. You just have to understand where fear comes from and where faith comes from. Thank you.